Hello YouTube, today is going to be a update on how my bulking phase is going because I've hit a new high body weight, which is very exciting because it's been kind of bumming around the last few months, so I'm quite happy to see it shifting upwards a little bit. Obviously we're not chasing that, but it's nice when it happens, just sometimes. Also, I'm going to take you through a full upper body day, so you're going to get a run through of a new, because I've just started a new mesocycle. I've set myself up with this upper body day, and guess what? It's almost exactly the same as the one that I ran last mesocycle, which is very boring. But there's one or two differences that I'm making, which I'll run you through my thinking as to why I've made those changes, and also why I've kept the majority of it exactly the same. So I'll take you through as much of the session that I can record. It's a decently long session, but it's mostly like a biceps and chest focused workout. So a very bro day, which I'm not used to, but I do kind of enjoy. I'm still spamming my liquid calories. So that's 900 calories that I'm going to drink right now. That's the first carbs that I'm having today as well. I have been playing around with keto breakfasts, which I never thought I would. I really never thought I'd be that guy. But the mental clarity you get when you're not eating carbs before 1 p.m. to get all of your work done in between 5 a.m. and 1 p.m. is just elite. It is fucking elite. So I can't go back. But we're on the way to the gym now. Well, we're not, because I'm not driving yet. I'm going to down a coffee, perfect pre-workout. We'll get to the gym in about half an hour, and then we'll go and train upper. So I will see you there. Upper day, let's go. So let's have a look over the actual gym session itself, the exercises, why I'm doing certain things, and also the changes that I've made, because this was the first upper day that I've done of this mesocycle, and my emphasis is changing a little bit when it comes to my upper work, because for the last year, 2 years, when it comes to upper, my back has not needed any work. Like at the moment, I'm doing 5 sets per week for my back. That is it. I've not touched my back in ages, but it's been mostly pushed towards my chest. But now, I think actually my chest has come up quite a lot from doing things that I'm going to run you through in this workout, but it's now my arms. It's now my arms that are lagging behind a little bit, and I've never really focused on my arms specifically. I think that was just mostly out of the fact of I hate training arms. I think they're really boring to train. I don't enjoy training them, and so naturally I've just been like, oh, I'll tag them towards the end of the workout. But it's getting to the point now where I think they weren't necessarily a weak point on stage when I competed in 2023, 3, I can't remember, but they definitely weren't a strong point, and they definitely weren't a, oh, he's got good arms. It was more so, everything's kind of in proportion. So we need to bring the arms up a little bit. Now, what you saw me do a minute ago was just a heavy set of curls. This is something that I remembered about after watching a vlog from Alberto Nunez about a week ago, and it's called PAP sets. I think it's something, proprioception something. In other words, if you do a heavy set, or for example, when a weightlifter, like a power lifter, is trying to increase like the weight that they can squat, you'll sometimes see them load up like 300 kilos on a bar, pick it up, stand there, and then put it back down again, and then go and squat 360 for 10, even though that's a PB and they've never squatted that heavily before, right? The idea there is by exposing yourself to a heavier load, even if you're not, doing perfect reps, you're literally just getting yourself used to it. If you then go into your sets afterwards, there's no, it's like you've taken the blockers off your muscle. And your muscle's like, yeah, we've just touched a weight heavier than this, so this feels absolutely fine. But if you would have tried to go straight into the 360, I can't even remember how much I said now, but like the normal squats, or me trying to go straight into this preacher curl without doing that heavy set beforehand, sometimes my biceps are just like, whoa, I'm gonna snap. It's like, no, you're not. But there's like I think it's an inhibitor, a neuromuscular inhibitor that kind of just says, no, this isn't safe. I'm not going to let you get these reps. So I just do that quick set on, I think it's only the 20s. In time, I'm going to work that up to like 25s and really get it to the point where it feels really fucking heavy, so that when I come over and do these preacher curls here, it feels a lot lighter. But these humbled the shit out of me today, I'll be honest. You can see, literally with 14 kilo dumbbells, I was ruined. But one of the main differences I'm making during this block is just shifting the order. So in previous times, I've been putting chest work first in this session, where I've been doing my incline press and my chest flies first. But now that I want to bring my arms up a little bit more and I want to put a little bit more emphasis there, the first thing that I'm going to do is literally just change the order of exercises. So biceps are going first, and you'll also notice that how I'm training my biceps. I've got 2 exercises in here for my biceps, but it's more so like 3 kind of, if you include that first set with just a heavier dumbbell, throwing it around a little bit to warm my joints up. But I'm doing this preacher curl here, which at this angle it is quite length and biased actually, but preachers with that arm really in front of my body, it is going to work the short head of my bicep, and it's a little bit more short and biased than most bicep curl variations. So this, if anything, is just like the entry work. This isn't like the finishing blow that I'm going to deliver to my biceps. This is all just like warming my biceps up, getting in some good reps, some really close to failure reps. This is, and it's still really good work for building my biceps. But the real like meat and gravy comes in the next exercise, which I'll show you. But you can see here, this is an exercise that I haven't done for a while actually, but I was getting some hellish good fucking stimulus out of this. But I do need to work on not pulling as many faces, because when I'm pulling faces like that, obviously that was complete failure, muscular failure, and I'm not angry about that. I'm pretty sure that was failure. But I've noticed sometimes that when I'm pulling the faces, like for example on a leg extension, if I start pulling those faces early, I can placebo myself into thinking that I'm hitting failure before I actually am. And I need to be careful of that, because it's crazy the things your body can do to take yourself away from hitting painful failure. It will tell you that, if you know what you've got last week, number one, that's a good thing because you need to beat it. But also if you're like, oh, well, I didn't sleep too well last night, so let's just maintain last week's numbers. Yeah, let's get that 10th rep and then let's just leave that there. Like, it's crazy the little stories that will pop up in your brain when you're mid-set to make you stop, because your brain does not want you in that set. It's going, this is not a good place for us. We need to get the fuck out of here. It's not going, yes, this is going to cause more growth. Let's endure the pain. It wants you out. And it's crazy the little things that will tell you. And one thing for me that I know is if I'm, straining my face, pulling these faces, I'm more likely to go, yeah, that was a hard rep, when it actually might not have. So I have to assess this video feedback like really objectively. And I also have to try my best to not pull faces and not over exaggerate, because I can placebo myself into thinking that I'm closer to failure than I actually am. So I have to watch these videos. Even after 5 years of training, I have to watch these videos back to assess this. Here's my favorite bicep exercise of all time. Some things I absolutely love about this. Maybe it is the equivalent of curling in the squat rack, but I don't care. I don't care, because it's that good. So this exercise, the reason why I think this is the GOAT is because everyone raves about lying bicep curls, arm behind your body, and the resistance profile is great, where you get a deep stretch at the bottom for most variants, or like the Dr. Mike curl that's been brought about recently, where he's like lying down, curling like this, keeping his arm out to the side. Love that principle, and the descending resistance profile is amazing. So in other words, it's really hard in the stretch, gets lighter at the top. Only problem is you have to use so much front delt, and to actually keep that upper arm in place, and it's easy to let it fall. This variation here has these elbow pads in just the most perfect position. It's like doing the reverse cowgirl on the lat pull down, and you look like a weirdo, and nobody's ever seen the lat pull down used like this, but I promise you, do this exercise once and you'll never be able to go back to another bicep exercise, because it's the GOAT. Because what it does is that pad comes in behind your elbow and it takes the torque off your shoulder joint. So your front delt and all of these other muscles are no longer having to keep that upper arm up to make it stretch at the elbow. You've now just got this big meaty pad that's designed to go on your quad that instead is behind your elbow, putting all of the tension on the elbow joint rather than the shoulder joint. It just takes it takes that moment arm away from the whole arm, puts it just on your elbow, which is creme de la creme. And it means that you fail quickly, because it's a very, very steep resistance profile. Like, it's really heavy at the bottom. So you can see, like, you'll go from, oh, that was easy, mate. Oh, I've got another one. There you go, done. It's brutal for that. But if you get your weight selection right, I went too heavy on this and I was absolutely ruined. But if you get your weight selection on right, and you're not going to need as much weight as you think, if you get that right on this exercise, this will quickly become one of your favorite bicep movements. What I'd recommend as well is keep your bum, in the first week of doing this, push your bum closer towards the lat pull down, and then week by week, like scooch it forwards a little bit, because the further your bum comes outwards, the more savage it becomes in the stretch. So if you're not used to really stretching your biceps out, like just literally sit upright, try it like that with the elbow pad. Oh, that feels good. Next week, bum a little bit forwards. Next week, bum a little bit forwards. Oh my days, it's the best bicep exercise. I hate saying that, and I hate being the guy that's like, you have to do this one bicep exercise, but just try it. Just try it before you laugh at me, please. Just try it, okay? And then we got into the chest work. So I was interested, and I was running a little bit of an experiment as to, how is my chest work and other muscle group work going to be affected by pushing biceps in first? I was a bit worried. I was like, is this going to pull away from my bigger movements? Because biceps are notoriously like a pretty small muscle group. But I didn't lose a single rep, and I actually progressed in some places on these chest exercises. So it's confirmed to me that I probably wouldn't want to train triceps before a chest movement, simply because your same motion, right? But training biceps beforehand, and it's something that I've done in a lot of my client programs recently as well, is bringing in like a biceps and chest day, triceps and back day. And it worked really well. It worked really, really well. So I've been running this incline press. It's the prime incline press, and these machines are really, really nice because you can adjust the profiles. But training at this gym, the prime kit is incredible, but it's very, very used. And so one of these arms is a little bit lower than the other. And I know it probably won't make that much of a difference, but I am that OCD guy that I just have this sneaky suspicion that if I stayed on this machine for the next 4 years, my right pec would become bigger than my left because that right arm is coming down further. And I don't like that. So I love prime kit, and I've had access to prime kit over my last few years of training. But it also, once it's been in a gym for a good 3 or 4 years, a little bit of slack appears at the bottom, and it just frustrates me a little bit. One of the arms goes further than the other, and it isn't maintained as well as it should be. So I'm considering shifting gyms or moving to a different gym or looking into it. But for now, like, this covers more than everything I need. This press, I'm trying to keep that arm angle pressing up and above to hit my clavicular pec. I think I've got that right. Yeah, clavicular pec, so upper chest here more than anything. And one mistake that I used to make is I used to think to hit my upper chest, everything had to, or it's like that angle you're pushing up. But I've described that badly, but it's the angle your arm is actually moving up at and across at that is going to hit your upper chest. It's not necessarily like where you're pressing. It's the direction your arm is going. So I'm being really intentional here to not just lock out with my elbows going to the sides and doing that, because that's still just going to literally make this into a flat press. Especially if I let my bum come forwards, that's just going to be a flat press. I'm trying to keep my butt fixed in this seat and press those arms up and above in line with the clavicular fibers. And it makes you a shit ton weaker because I could press a lot more on that. But it does toast my upper chest, which is what I'm after. So these are the 2 exercises that I've ran on my chest for the last 4 months, and they've just been doing the absolute business. So here's chest fly. I rotate this in between the pec deck, dumbbell fly, but this machine here is just lovely. Really, really nice, especially because obviously it's converging. I've still got a lot of tension in that position at the end, which you don't usually get, and you could argue it's not ideal. But I think the way that this set is set up makes it the heaviest at the bottom, when obviously I've got that longest arm length with the cable coming straight out. And then as I come across and I come into this end position, there's still tension, but it's nowhere near as much as there is here. And I wasn't expecting this to be good. I was expecting this to be like not feel great at all, but I've ran it over and over again and I cannot fault it. I've had repeated chest DOMs. I just absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And yeah, one thing I would say is I think, again, it's an exercise that I was failing very quickly on. It's not one where I can grind out the last like 2 or 3 reps. When I hit the point where it won't move past here, it won't move past here because it is quite heavy there. And I've been doing that going straight into deficit push-ups here as well. Sorry, I'm disappearing off your screen. wide grip deficit push-ups here. And that's it. Like, that's my chest work done in this session. So it's 3 sets of that incline press, 2 sets of that cable fly with these deficit press ups here, which look like I'm kissing the floor. And I'm almost running a little bit of a competition with myself where it's how little press ups can I get myself to do. So in other words, how much can I mess my chest up from these flies and from the presses so that I can do the minimum amount of press ups? Because, you know, if you just tell me on a random day to go down and do some press ups, I could probably do like 100. I get 3. I get 3 press ups after that, the chest fly work, which is insane. It just shows that I'm delivering a lot of stimulus. Triceps. Again, my triceps are a muscle group that my elbows can get quite unhappy quite quickly. And I think this is the case for most people, but I really struggle to go straight up into an overhead movement like this. So more often than not, I will always do a tricep extension of some sort in front of me like this, and just allowing that joint to get warmed up and happy before I try and stretch anything and go overhead. So you can see here I'm doing a myo rep set with it in front of my body. So myo rep being, I'm doing my first set like a straight set, but instead of then having to rest, getting the buy-in reps again, and then getting to the effective reps at the end of that set, I'm just doing one straight set, taking a couple of breaths and getting straight back into it. You have got the trade-off of less rest times, you may get less reps. However, the efficiency when it comes to isolation movements of being able to do one straight set, quite close to failure into some partials, take 2 deep breaths and then hit straight effective reps again is incredible. Saves you so much time. Yes, you might lose a couple of reps, but it just means that the majority of the reps you're doing in the gym are ones that you know are closer to moving the needle. And once I've done that, warmed my tricep up a lot, then I can start to go into overhead movements like this. This has been, I got introduced to this from my coach who sent me a video of Ben Yanes doing it. And I understand that not everybody's going to get on with this movement because it is quite, it's putting your tricep in quite a position. Not a lot of people have the rotation and the ability to get their arm up there. But if this does suit you, I would recommend running this exercise over and over again, because the tricep DOMs and the tricep stimulus I've been able to send from this has been incredible. The thing is, with this exercise, you can see at the bottom of the rep, my forearm just making that perfect right angle with the cable, right? When I drop into that right angle there, it's just so heavy that I could almost just sit there for a second and my tricep is just getting stretched, further stretched, more and more stretched, and it's just like, holy shit, you feel some things in your tricep doing that you will not feel in any other tricep movement. But I couldn't just jump straight into that either. I have to do like I have to have my soup for starter, which is the tricep extension in front of me, to warrant being able to go up into this position and my elbow not getting super pissed off. And also, speaking about the buy-in reps, the myo reps, here, I do my first set with like 6 kilos, but afterwards I actually go up in weight as well. So I've stopped. I never really did fall for the whole drop set fad where on every set you drop the weight and then go again, drop the weight and then go again. I've been playing around with reverse drop sets quite a lot recently, playing on that theory of myo reps, so in other words, effective reps. On that exercise, I do my first set on 6, I get 12 reps or something, and then go up to 8 and go again, because every single rep in that set with the 8 kilos is instantly effective. I'm already 4 reps away from failure, 3 reps away from failure, 2 reps away from failure, 1 rep away from failure, and the majority of that time is spent in this position in that most length and range. I've seen some really, really cool things happening to my tricep because of that. It's just these little things I've been picking up on over the last 12 months that I think are going to lead to me having another 3 to 4 kilos of muscle on stage in 2026, which is really fucking exciting. And then I'm finishing off with delts. So delts have fallen down the priority list a little bit for me just because they've been responding to these 2 exercises so well over the last few months. I was using this machine turned the other way around, and I've been doing that for 3 years. But I decided to give it a go facing back inwards. And I like it. It's good. But there's 2 issues. Number one, my arms, I've notoriously got really long arms, and my left arm is scraping against the actual machine, which it just annoys me in my mind. And secondly, I just get the feeling that using this single arm and just really being able to put myself in the scapular plane with that single arm could be more useful, but I'm just not sure if I'm willing to spend the extra time doing this exercise single arm. So yeah, this has been in for a very, very long time though, so I may be thinking about maybe considering swapping it out, because I also think personally this exercise, even though I've got it on pin 3, so in other words it's heaviest at the bottom, lightest at the top, I just don't feel it. I think the cog, the way that it's aligned, it doesn't make all that much difference through the movement. And so it's pretty much linear loading like the whole way through this movement, or it's a very, very gradual resistance profile. So in other words, it's the same level of tension at the bottom than it is than the top, or maybe I just gain more leverage over it as it goes up. But the way that I'm treating that movement isn't the meat and gravy. This exercise here is the meat and gravy for my delts work. That one before is more so just like warming that joint up again, getting it nice and warm so that it can go into a really deep stretch. And that's what this does. Now this is an exercise that I have been abusing over the last few months as well. It is a lateral raise variation, but it's just stretching my side delt in a way that I didn't know it could be stretched. So I was using a cuff for this last meso, but I've realized that actually when I'm using a handle, guess what? You can stretch even further, because if the cuff's there, the moment arm isn't as long. And also you can't always get this around your body effect that you can get with a handle. I know that sounds weird. I know that doesn't sound like it's a big thing, but the handle just feels so good. Now, I've had to play around with this quite a lot, because I think a lot of people trying this exercise out for the first time will feel it clicking on their delt, click, click, and then up and down the whole time. But trust it, give it a good run, line it up properly, and it will pay off big time. And yeah, here's the physique update. So we're currently at 83. I want to gain up to around 90. I think the upgrades in my upper body will be insane, because it's responded so well to the training that I've been doing over the last year. The upgrades to my upper body will be insane. My chest, my side delts especially. And now just looking at this physique, I'm like, if I just had some bigger biceps to sit on top of those lats, it would turn from decent to like really good. My delts have grown a lot. My chest has grown a hell of a lot. My lats have always been disgustingly strong. Like you'll see it here that they just don't really need touching. But I just need some bigger arms to sit on top of them. If I had some bigger arms to sit on top of those lats, I'd be on it. So yeah, the main focus for the next 9 months or 8 months until December is going to be arms, calves, quads, and legs pretty much. Because I think the upgrades to my upper, like my trunk, have been really good. My delts, huge. It now just needs to be a little bit more on the extremity side of things, and legs. Legs are the main priority by far, but the only other thing that I need to work on upper body wise is obviously my posing needs to improve, but I've also got this just weird thing going on my right delt where it just doesn't quite sit the same as my left. It likes, I broke my collarbone when I was younger, and it likes sitting a little bit further down. So in all of my poses, I have to really think about lifting that right shoulder up to compensate. So I'm going to figure out if that's a psychological thing or if that's a physiological thing, and if there's some tightness there that I need to figure out. But we've got time to do that. We've got time to figure out those issues. Right now, the priority is just effective massing, get the arms a little bit bigger, get the legs a lot bigger, and then 2026, my final year as a junior, should be quite exciting. Should be very exciting. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what that looks like with 10 kilos less fat. So that is the update. That's a run through. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I think my next video will be me running through a leg day. And then I'm also going to break down more so the data side of things on my gaining phase, the decisions that I'm making, why I'm doing it in that way. That's what I'm going to run through in the next video, where I'll break down the next workout in my mesocycle. So in other words, this is the first upper day of my week. I'll run through my first leg day of the week. And then I'll also run through the long-term plan of action gaining wise, why I'm setting it up like that, and any other decisions that I've made moving into this meso. So hope you guys have enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, drop in the comments below. Hope you enjoy. See you soon.